Good afternoon, me again. Welcome back to Graham for Glory. It's me, Dr. Benji FM, and we're talking about the signings that we've made. Now, Bas Dost is a player nobody likes to get in a pack, but very often does. And the Dutchman goes within our Dutch theme. We've brought in Quincy Promes, of course, and Wijnaldum, and Bas Dost was the next one in line to be brought in. So I figured we'd give him a go. Why is everyone so critical of him? Let's give him a chance in the team. So we changed things up a little bit. Got rid of Danny Graham, got rid of Daniel Sturridge. I don't know, actually, maybe we keep Sturridge in there. No, we're bringing the Serie A boys to go alongside him, and now we've got this Dutch connection, Premier League connection as well on that right hand side of the midfield and attack. Bas Dost, Wijnaldum and Quincy Promes are the boys that we require, and we know that with 12 points we're not too far off a promotion as well up to the next division. So we go into our first game then as we go on the search, as we're prone to do, and we come up against a decent side. Gnabry's caused us problems in the past. You might remember last episode he was part of the team that demolished us with Bellarabi and Sané as well. Decent, very, very decent. Bakayoko's there, Goretzka, I think it might have been Tolisso too. And Nottingham Dons then were our opponent. And the first action of the game comes from Will Keane, plays it towards Icardi. It ends up being Dost, and this is not your eyes deceiving you, it is just the laggiest moment of FIFA history. Bas Dost is going through. I thought he was just very slow at first, but no, it was a connection lag, and gets his debut goal and celebrates wildly. If you're going to replace 5-goal wonder Danny Graham, you better be scoring goals from the instantly, and Bas Dost steps up. Look, you don't have to buy pacey. There's this idea on FIFA this year that you have to have pacey strikers to beat other people on this game. I couldn't disagree more based on who I've been using. Charlie Austin, Icardi's arguably in there as well, Danny Graham, and now Bas Dost. And even Daniel Sturridge isn't the quickest player. I'm proving the facts wrong. Although, as we progress up the divisions, I'm sure this will change. A very dominant first half display, though. You can see from those stats, only a 1-0 lead, but as I say, very dominant display. And after him doing absolutely nothing in the game, it was Sané popping up with the first shot of his half, first shot of the game for him. Apparently he's got a bad back, and well, yeah, it was annoying me as well, to be honest. 1-1 then, a decent strike, and he was back in it. And after all the possession, and after all the chances we've had in that first game, well, the first half, sorry, I thought there was no way he was getting a win in this one. Bellarabi goes through, easy as you like, pops it in the bottom corner, and I think it's Pepe Reina back in goal, beaten again, and we're 2-1 down with it all to do, might I add. But Graham to glory, you would hope, and made a sterner stuff. It doesn't really matter though when that happens, does it? I don't think Sané's given this goal, but it's somewhat unfortunate, and things are going from bad to worse. It's a Jordan Lukaku own goal, and finally we bring it forward. Mauro Icardi plays it in to the feet of Brozovic, plays it across that right hand side. Quincy Promes on his... Forget it. I was getting very, very angry at this point. Chance after chance after chance, we couldn't get back in it, and another defeat on the board. And despite a Bas Dost goal, I didn't enjoy his performance other than the goal, and I now think the connection helped him rather than hindered him. A 3-1 defeat though, still got some decent coins, and after, you saw there from the stats by the way, in the second half he had all of the game. I don't have a clue what happened, didn't have a shot in the first half. I don't know if he gave the control to somebody else, but I was devastated. Anyway, I decided it was time for a new squad. We had the Danny Graham squad, it was time for the Graham Danny squad. So what I thought we'd do is mix up the teams, have 2 different sections, or 4 different sections essentially, to 2 teams. So of course we've got our Premier League boys, we've got the Serie A boys, we're getting a Dutch connection in there as well, and it was time to figure out what we were supposed to do. Of course the Spanish boys as well on the left hand side. So first things first then, created a side with the Spanish on the left, the Premier League on the right, something that we've been pretty good with. Danny Graham, of course, features in that team as well, as we sort of... There's obviously saves on fitness as well. You can see I'm putting a lot of the players from the other side on the bench. Fitness-wise, things were looking good, and I thought, as I built this squad, let's use it, let's get into it and see how we get on. The other side for me, the Serie A side, has got good aspects to it, but Pepe Reina seems to let me down more often than not. Anyway, we came up against this team here. Gamero was up top, Vela on the right-hand side, I think it might have been Deulofeu maybe, on the left-hand side. So a decent side to play up against, and it was the first chance of the game for us. Daniel Sturridge, some choppy choo-chars, plays it through, and eventually gets a goal for himself. I'm not quite sure who assists him. It may well be Danny Drinkwater in the centre, but Sturridge there looking very happy with himself, celebrates with his England friends as well. Deulofeu for us, of course, playing too, and gave us the 1-0 lead. 12 minutes in, slight bit of fortune to it. You're going to have to admit that, Ben, but regardless of that, got the goal, and I was loving life. Crossed in to the back post, headed down. It's a little bit all over the place, and it falls to Santi Cazorla, who manages to get a lovely little goal. 2-0, 16 minutes gone, quite the strike, and you can see I was quite angry after after the last game, disappointed in myself, so I decided the only way to bounce back was with an emphatic win, and hopefully that continues, folks, as we continue through this particular game. So 2-0, only 17 minutes gone, is it? Yeah, so things were going pretty well, and at half-time, I was somewhat comfortable with the way that things were going. You can see from the stats at this half-time mark that we were playing rather well. Santi Cazorla there, by the way, doesn't look very happy. For a man that scored, I don't know, is there a little bit of discontent from Santi? Not enjoying his football as much as I'd hoped. But you can see there at half-time, 2-0 against Tequila Sunrise, which is a nice name. Quite an even game, to be fair. And actually, looking at that there, 62% possession. This guy was having the better of me. And that would obviously pay off for him at some point. Paulinho pulls it back to Deulofeu, who slots into the back of the net. And this, you'll notice there, though, this is 88 minutes in. So when a guy scores, in that moment, you're panicking. You're thinking, is that going to turn sour for me? No. Luckily for us, it didn't, and we got the 2-1 win. Second half was very boring, as you can probably see evidently from this game. Coins in the bank, though, and you know what a win means, folks? A win means another player in the bank, and 15 points, 2 points off promotion. It was looking good. With 3 games remaining, we had every opportunity to get back in it. We got a few different bits and pieces. I think we saw a coin bonus for us there, and it was off to buy a player. And this Dutch theme was continuing. I thought, right then, we've got a decent midfield right now. We've got Dost up front. I'm going to have to improve this back line. And a player that I've used very much, I'll be transparent here, very much on PC and enjoyed a lot on PC, and couldn't believe how cheap he was, frankly, on console, is Virgil van Dijk. Of course, the player from Southampton, linked heavily with Liverpool, as well as some other Premier League clubs, actually, was the guy that I plumped for. Quite a strong individual with very good defending attributes, as well as being pacey. I thought he was the perfect player, as well as being Dutch, of course, which goes into the theme of our squads. That's what we went with. And as we go over to the other squad, then you can see we've got Danny Graham and Graham Danny. Hopefully that won't become too confusing. But you can see how the squads are building up. We've got that Dutch thing on the right-hand side. Whether we get a right back in, of course, you'll see in the future. But the Serie A situation is going quite well over on the other side as well. So Van Dijk comes in, and I think it certainly strengthens what we've got going on. We're not quite 100 chemistry, though our squad rating is getting better and better. And yeah, I was just checking sort of fitness here to see what was going on. Anyway, into the games we went then. Another opportunity for us to get a win. And it was time for Bas Dost, hopefully, to continue the good form of the last episode. We're coming up against, though, Morton FC. Decent little side, you can see there. I think it's the player of the month, Mane, he's got, as well as Alessandrini on the right-hand side. Marcus Rashford through the middle. A very decent lineup, very quick defence as well, something to be aware of, with Begovic in goal, who's one of the better goalkeepers this year, disappointingly so. And the first chance of the game then fell to him. Mane swings a ball in, it's headed in on goal, and Alessandrini with it. The two wide men combining quite nicely there, and the ball ends up in the back of the net. Really good cross. That cross where you sort of cut back onto your right foot from the left side, equally you do it on the other side, sort of whips cross towards the back post, is really effective this year on FIFA. It was good last year, actually, and it's something I should probably be using more. But forward we went. Douglas Costa pulls a chance back for Quincy Promes on half-time, and he doesn't convert, and that is a moment that we may live to regret towards the end of this game. We weren't playing particularly well. Morton FC, I dare say, had the better of us throughout the game, and we're playing rather well. I do hope it's not for Football Manager, social media manager Curtis Morton, because that would really upset me if it were to be him. Anyway, the games continue, and 77 minutes in, another goal on the score sheet. I'm not quite sure who that was, actually, but another goal for him, 2-0, as he celebrates wildly. Even there, I'm not 100% sure who that is. Well, I mean, the mystery goes on. Maybe we'll never know. You can see everyone else celebrating wildly. And Pepe Reina, I'm starting to have serious doubts about. I don't know if we're going to have to move him on or what, but despite the fact there's been quite a good strike, quite a good goal, I want to see more from him. It was Christian Pulisic with the goal, of course it was. Didn't start the game, hence my confusion. And there you are then, 90th minute roll round, and a defeat. And really an episode of disappointment in many ways. A 2-0 defeat there, so we didn't get to buy a player. We don't get any more points, and that obviously means we don't win the title. And Icardi comes off there looking most disappointed. He replicated the feelings that I had myself. Yeah, and Bas Dost on a 6.6. I know why everyone hates him. I'm starting to realise why everyone hates him, and I am going to be part of that club, I think. Anyway, as we move on to the next episode, hopefully you win the title, and hopefully you'll join me for it. Goodbye.